are listing 10 board games that currently have people's attention, and 8 of them are new to the top 10 this month. Hello, and welcome to our list of the top 10 most popular board games for June 2017. Hopefully, this countdown may help you find some new games that you might not have known about yet. We'll list all 10 of the games and go into detail about several of them. If there's a game on the list that you would like more information about, let me know in the comments below and I'll see what I can do about highlighting it either in a future episode or perhaps even in its own separate video. Now, before we dig into the countdown, let's introduce a brand new segment, Where Are They Now? Where are they now? Title card. And now, let's take a look at a game that caught my eye on a previous top 10 and look at its current position on the list. Today, we are checking in with the Super Mario Level Up board game, which just managed to barely eke its way onto the list at number 10 last month. Well, back then, I pondered whether this game, branded with the popular Nintendo video game intellectual property, had rocketed into the top 10 based on the excitement that people had for its gameplay, or if this was just a flash of morbid curiosity about a board game brandishing the Super Mario name. Well, this month, the Super Mario Level Up board game has not only dropped out of the top 10, but it isn't even present on the top 100 anymore. It's like this game has just disappeared into the sewers like some nearsighted Koopa. Will interest in this game rebound, though, as it gets closer to its release? Well, we'll find out in the months to come. But for now, let's get back to the countdown. Alright, so before anything else, I just want to let you know, yes, Gloomhaven will retain its spot this month at number 1 on the list. We'll go into detail about that a little bit later on when we get there, but I didn't want you to have to sit through the whole video in anticipation just to find out that, yeah, it's still Gloomhaven. So, however, 8 of the 10 games on this month's list are brand new to the list, including numbers 4, 3, 2, and the game that comes in at number 10, Templars Journey. In Templars Journey, currently estimated to be published by Queen Games in June 2017, each player will control knights and Templar lords who will participate in the Holy Crusades in Jerusalem through the use of clever card play. Each turn in the game, players will select cards from their hand to play, and they can choose to either play that card safely, but less effectively, or more profitably. But if an opponent has chosen the same, more profitable action, then both players will instead receive punishment for being too greedy. Now, based on that description, I got the impression that this game may share some similarities to Broom Service, in which players try to select unique actions from a hand of cards that each player has a copy of. But then I discovered that Templars Journey is actually a re-implementation of the 2010 B-based game Hornet. Now I want to know, will the new theme of noble knights overcoming, and occasionally succumbing to, temptation help resurrect this game, or will it just end up getting stung? Only time will tell, but for now, Templars Journey has enough buzz to come in at number 10 on this month's list. Number 9 on the list is Escape from 100 Million B.C, in which players are stranded time travelers who are having a very stressful day. Players must hurry to reassemble their broken ship before a nearby volcano explodes, because, of course, there's also dinosaurs to dodge, time rifts to close, and castaways floating around that you've accidentally pulled out of their own eras. I'm starting to suspect that these aren't very well qualified time travelers. The sleeper hit Ethnos continues to grow in popularity as it makes its debut at number 8 on this month's countdown. This game has been strongly championed recently by Marty and Tony of the Rolling Dice and Taking Names board game podcast. Marty and Tony gave a really great review of Ethnos in episode 117 of their show. I really suggest checking out that episode if you'd like to find out more about how to play this game. But for now, let's continue on with number 7. 2015's Deep Space D6 comes in at number 7 this month. Now, while Deep Space D6 is a solitaire survival dice game about surviving the cruel depths of space, I think that the resurgence in attention it's receiving may be due to its upcoming re-implementation, scheduled for 2018, Deep Space D6 Armada. This new cooperative version takes the gameplay of Deep Space D6 and enhances it with structured missions, ship upgrades, and hidden roles, all while retaining the original game's minimalistic graphic design and minimalistic gameplay philosophy. But in this version, each player commands their own unique mercenary spaceship. They'll also have side missions and wrecks available to salvage, both of which will provide ways to upgrade their ship. Now, while rolling dice and assigning them to their ship's stations in order to perform actions is still central to the gameplay, a selection of crew members will provide players with varying skills and abilities, all of which will directly impact the movement, combat, and support options that they have available. If the success of other team dice games like Fuse and Flatline are any indication, it's easy to see Deep Space D6 Armada's potential and why it's already generating buzz while still being roughly a year away. At number 6 this month is the game on the list that I, myself, am most anticipating, the Gaia project, which is a new game in the line of Terra Mystica. As in the original Terra Mystica, 14 different factions live in 7 different kinds of planets, and each faction is bound to their own home planet's type. Therefore, in order to develop and grow, each faction must terraform neighboring planets into their home environments that they're used to before their competitors do the same. Now, additionally, the game area is made of 10 different sectors, allowing a variable setup and thus an even bigger replay value than its predecessor, Terra Mystica. So, if you really liked the depth and the challenge of Terra Mystica, but always thought, boy, what this really needs is just a wee bit more to worry about, well then the Gaia project may be the right game for you. Terraforming Mars slips from number 4 to number 5 this month, but is still holding strong on a wave of momentum, thanks, in part, to its upcoming first expansion, Hellas and Elysium, which will allow players to explore and tame other sectors of the Red Planet. I want to know, do you think the upcoming Terraforming Mars expansion will rekindle enough interest in the game for it to reclaim its number 4 spot next month? Let me know in the comments below. And in the meantime, let's continue on to game number 4, which is Dragonfire by Catalyst Game Labs. Now, very few images of this upcoming game are yet available, so there's not a lot of visual information yet to share. However, we do know that Dragonfire will be a re-implementation of 2014's Shadowrun Crossfire, a game that everyone seemed to agree had a lot of good potential, but still received mixed reviews. So I want to know, will Dragonfire improve the areas that caused Shadowrun Crossfire to falter? Well, we will find out as more information about Dragonfire becomes available in the days to come. Spot number 3 on our list is claimed this month by the game Wettlauf nach Dorado, or just El Dorado if trying to fumble your way through its full name scares you. In this Rainier Knizia design, players take on the roles of expedition leaders who have embarked on a search for the legendary Land of Gold in the dense jungles of South America. Each player assembles and equips their own team, hiring various helpers from the scout to the scientist to the aborigine. Even so, everyone has but one goal in mind: to reach the golden border first and win all of its riches for themselves. Game number 2 is one that I hadn't even heard of before working on this month's list, and that is Samhain. In this game, which takes place on the most sacred night of the year, known as Samhain, Celtic tribes gather to ask the ancient gods for help, strength, sustenance, and the courage to fight the invaders who threaten their very existence. Players will do this by utilizing worker placement and point-to-point movement while deploying additional units in secret. To accomplish this, each player takes the role of the chief of a clan who will struggle against the others to take charge of the growing resistance against the Romans. Each clan must accomplish this by wisely splitting their workforce among their villages and temples. Now, as of the time of this recording, Samhain is currently running a Kickstarter campaign with over 20 days remaining, and an electronic version of it is available to play right now on the Tabletopia platform. The estimated release date of the physical version of the game is October 2017, with its first retail appearances planned to be at the Essen Game Fair. And, as I mentioned previously, Gloomhaven retains this month's #1 slot. Over the past 30 days, this game's position on BoardGameGeek's hotness list has averaged 2.2, meaning it's been hovering between the second and third highest ranking on their list of hot games. This is the highest average BGG hotness ranking of any of the games on this month's list. But still, I wonder, will Gloomhaven be able to retain its momentum and hang on to that #1 slot for a third month in a row? Well, we'll find out the answer to that in a mere 30 days. But for now, there is your list of the 10 most popular board games for June 2017. If you have any suggestions for our next episode, let me know. I welcome your feedback. And for more board game news, reviews, and commentary, be sure to subscribe on YouTube. And remember that videos like this are made possible by viewers like you who have been supporting Pair of Dice Paradise's Pod Pledge fundraising campaign. Thank you for all your support. Until next time, I've been Chaz Marler. Take care. Today, we are checking in with the Super Mario Level Up board game. Are you sure? I need a drink of water. I need a drink of water. There's really not a lot of visual information for the game that's available. That's what I just said. Need a little water.